ahead and get started. Are we at 6 yet? Right at 6. So let's get started. If you want to, Samantha, if you want to press the record button, we'll get started. And then
we're good. You're recording.
We're good. And I'm going to mute everybody now. And hopefully as people come in, they will mute themselves. Okay, so again, welcome everybody. My name's Eric Johnson, and just want to introduce myself to you guys. I am what is my title? Coaching Ambassador for Teamzy. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it tonight. But what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a training on a specific lead generation system that Teamzy's built upon called relationship marketing. We'll go through that training, and what I'm going to teach you was a 2-day workshop. I'm going to condense it down to about 15 minutes. So hopefully you have pads and paper, and you can furiously try to grab what nuggets I throw at you, because I will go pretty fast. And then I'm going to take you to Teamzy, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to set this thing up, and then kind of walk you through how you can just kill a power hour in 15 minutes, really. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So then at that point, and depending on how much I talk, if I have a little bit more time, I'll show you guys how to do follow-ups like a pro too. And if I can get all that done, then we'll open it to questions and answers. Sound good? Okay, so the other thing that's really strange is, I obviously have to mute everybody because one person can mess up the sound, but it's really strange talking to a quiet group. So any of you guys, Italians or anybody that talks with their hands, any sort of gestures or things you can show me really help me as I'm presenting to you guys. Okay, so I'm going to take your screen and jump over to my presentation really quick. Okay. So you guys see that now? Purple screen says relationship marketing. Awesome. Okay. So let's just jump right in. So first I want to introduce myself to you guys. I'm a Beachbody coach just like you. Okay. And I've had a transformation, amazing health transformation for me. And that's just made me really passionate about sharing it. But just to tell you a little bit about my professional background, I come from the background of coaching and training, but in the real estate industry. And that's where I've spent, gosh, almost 15 years now, teaching people relationship marketing, how to generate leads, how to create marketing strategies for them based around their personality, and also building technology tools to support that. So that's the background that I bring from another industry to Beachbody. And I hope to share some of those principles with you guys, because when I became a coach and started looking for a tool to use, I couldn't find anything. And I'm not very tech savvy, honestly. Like most of the things people were doing were way too complicated for me. In fact, people ask me, well, how do you build apps if you're not tech savvy? And I literally draw stick figures on the whiteboard and then send them to smart guys who figure out how to build it. Okay. So I think that's the best way to build software is, it has to be a button big enough for my big finger. And if I can push it, then you guys can too. That's the way I look at it. Okay. So what is relationship marketing? Relationship marketing is a lead generation system. Okay, and what a lead generation system is it's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. A system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. Okay, this is probably a review for most of you guys, but it's important to know that there are lead generation systems out there. And it's important for you guys to shift the mindset before we even get started that your business as a Beachbody coach isn't, building your team. It isn't selling challenge packs. It isn't even helping people lead healthy and fulfilling lives. Your job, your business is lead generation. Okay, so you can write down, I'm in the lead generation business. That's your business. So when you look at a day, did I work in my business today? The question is, did I work on lead generation today? Did I do work that will help me find new customers or find new coaches today? And if the answer is no, I didn't, then you can say, I didn't work on my business today. I was just busy. Does that make sense? So, but I'm going to show you guys how you can do lead generation in a way that's really fun and probably right in the comfort zone for all you guys. The main difference between relationship marketing and other popular lead generation systems is the underlying philosophy that developing and deepening relationships is the paramount duty of a business. That developing and deepening relationships is the paramount duty of a business. I just softened that, right? I told you it's all about generating leads, but now I told you that you're generating leads so that you can deepen relationships. Okay, if you guys are coming on, make sure you mute yourself. In relationship marketing, we serve and we bring value first. Okay, we serve and we bring value first. And then by investing in relationships, we create this groundswell of repeat business, of referrals, okay? Whether you're selling refrigerators, Shakeology, real estate, whatever it is, your success will be measured by the quality of the relationships you've developed. Okay, you guys might want to write that one down. Your success will be measured by the quality of the relationships you've developed. Okay. Have you guys heard this term, walking, talking billboards? So we want to turn our customers into walking, talking billboards. So they go out and literally bring business to you. Okay, but don't confuse relationship marketing with word of mouth. It's really important not to make this mistake. Word of mouth is passive. It's passive. It's, hey, I did a great job and I really hope it'll spread by word of mouth, right? It's kind of waiting for something to happen. Lead generation is proactive. That means you are the catalyst. You are the thing that is creating the activity, okay? And with relationship marketing, it's gonna systemize your contact and care in such a way that it will deepen relationships and it will generate a predictable stream of leads. What I mean by that is that you can project how many leads you will get based on the activity you do. And those of you guys who are already in Teamzy using it, know that when you set it up, it will tell you, hey, if this is your goal, this is how many connections you need to make this year, okay? In the other industry, we've done it long enough to measure kind of the response rates, if that makes sense. Okay. Relationship marketing depends on trust. If there's no trust, none of this works. Okay, and you guys know this. This is the same thing. This is congruent with everything you guys learn through all Beachbody trainings. But trust is what makes it fun. When people trust you, it's so much fun to be their coach, right? Because you don't have to convince them of anything. You get right to helping them. Okay, you just get, okay, you ready to go? Let's go. Let's work on this. Trust takes the icky salesman thing away, right? It makes you feel good about helping people. And the other thing, this is a big one for me, you guys, and those of you guys who've seen me do this presentation know this about me. Go for yes. You know the whole go for no thing? You guys have read that book. A lot of you have read that book, or maybe you do it with your team, the go for no's, and you show each other your list of rejections, and it's like a badge of honor. I got rejected. Like I am just not made for that. I am too much of a wimp to go for no's. That's the worst thing ever. In fact, I believe that most of the people who say, yeah, I'm going to go for no's, they're not really doing it because nobody wants to do that, right? I mean, there are some really awesome grenade head, they'll push through anything people. I have a lot of respect for them. Most of us would rather go for yes. And when you're working with relationship marketing, when your focus is on the relationship and not the outcome, all you get is yes, right? And when you're focused on the relationship, you end up with a lot more yeses over time as you develop those relationships. Okay, I'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. How do you actually build trust? So there's a science to this, right? You can actually build trust. There's two pillars on trust, character and confidence. So picture this, you know, if I was a graphic designer, you would see this beautiful, these beautiful Ionian pillars, right? And on top would be trust. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care. It's that simple. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care, right? That's what people want to know. Do you care about me? And competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do. Okay, can I trust you to take care of me, take care of customer service issues if they arise? Can I trust you to mentor me in this business? Are you actually somebody I can ask questions about my own fitness journey? You know, are you competent in what you're doing? Now, just so you guys know, I'm not going to get too deep into the character and competence training tonight, but it's a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 times as important character as competence. Okay, 3 times as important. So when you're sharing, when you're posting, and you're thinking, is this a character or a competence piece? Am I showing that I care, or am I trying to show that I'm a professional? It's 3 times as often that you want to demonstrate character. Maybe show a picture of your beautiful and ferocious Rottweiler at the beginning of your presentation, right? All right. So both character and competence, they're reinforced by your integrity. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're a crappy person, none of this matters, right? If you're a dishonest person, none of this matters. You have to walk your talk. Are you who you say you are? You know, we've all, you know, we create our brand niche, right? And we market to it. And you've created this Beachbody persona. Is that persona you? Or is it at least the person you're becoming, right? You have to be congruent with that. Does your life actually match what you're teaching? Are you actually living a healthy lifestyle, or are you posting, join my challenge group and then, crushing a dozen donuts at the Peterson's donut stop? I'm not saying donut occasionally is bad, but all right. Have you guys heard this? Be a product of the product, right? Are you actually doing your workouts? Are you drinking your shakes? Why am I showing you all this for Teamzy? It's important because you have to be trustworthy, right? You can invite all day long, and if people don't believe you, doesn't matter. Showing people that you're struggling but moving forward, that you're not perfect, that you're determined, that you're helping others proactively, that you actually care when there's nothing in it for you, right? Developing your character and demonstrating it. Which brings me to my biggest point of the night, okay? And I want you guys to write this down because it's really huge. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. That is why when you're a product of the product, people are inspired by you. They're not inspired by you because you had a major transformation. They're inspired by you because they see you working at it every day. And that's what they respect the most. In fact, if you guys ever read this book, which by the way is, wait, where's my camera? Can you guys, oh, you can't see this book because I'm not sharing my screen. If you've ever read the book, The Psychology of Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, it is an amazing book. And one of the things he talks about in here is that psychologists believe that the desire to be consistent is the primary motivating factor for all human beings. So what does that mean? It means that you now know the thing that motivates people more than anything else is the desire to be consistency. They admire you when you're consistent, and they want to be consistent. In fact, they will fail because they want to be consistent so bad to their bad habits. And they will succeed when you create an environment for them to be consistent in a better way, where they can replace bad habits with good habits. So understand, guys, it's that desire for consistency that's huge. And if you want people to follow you, you need to be consistent too. Right? And so let me ask you guys a question, because I know you guys probably are consistent with your shakes, with your workouts, with posting on social media, right? You know how to do that. You're making these beautiful posts. I see them all the time. You're consistent with your personal development. Well, maybe not as consistent on that one, but I'm sure that you do it, right? But here's the question I have for you guys. Are you consistent in your relationships? Are you as consistent about staying in touch with your relationships as you are about your workouts, your shakes, your personal development, your social posts, right? This is the question, because relationship building is a contact sport. What does that mean? It means you have to be in contact with people. You have to be in regular contact with people before you can consider it a relationship, okay? Write this one down, you guys. This is a big one. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay, so what does this mean? Think about this for a second. Why is it when you get a thoughtfully written personal note, you value it so much compared to just a store-bought card that says thanks in it, right? Why is it that we value that? It's because somebody invested time in that card. It shows you how much they really care because they took time. Time is something we only have a little bit of. It's the most valuable thing we have. And that's why when you give it to people, it deepens a relationship. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about this, because I'm going to tell you guys, you should be connecting with everybody. Everybody in your warm market, everybody that you're meeting every day, that you're adding to your list, you should be connecting with everybody, and you should be doing it consistently. So how the heck can you actually do that in the little bit of time you have? Some of you guys only have an hour a day to work on Beachbody. So how are you going to do that? Well, it is possible. What do you think the top coaches are doing? They are definitely connecting with people in mass numbers. It's because they have a system, right? And that's what you need. You need a system. You need a system that's going to help you stay in contact with all your relationships. Something that's going to tell you when you should be in contact with them. Right? When? How often? Know what you're going to say to them. And finally, you want to make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. This is a huge one, right? Nobody falls through the cracks. In real estate, we used to call it leakage, right? We used to call it leakage, where there were so many leads generated and there was only so many sales closed, and there were all these leads that leaked that basically fell through cracks. You don't want to have that happen. right? The worst. How many of you guys have had a lead that you didn't follow up with properly and they became a coach on someone else's team? You know, I mean, that happens, right? That means you're human. But here's the thing. If you have a good system, that won't happen, or it'll happen a lot less. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump out to Teamzy real quick. And I never know how to transition that without stopping the share. But it's good to see you guys for a second. Wow, there's a lot of people on here. See? Any guys on here? All women. See? It's very sexist, the Beachbody coach business. All right, where is my, here we go. All right, so you guys see Facebook right now? Yes, okay, great. All right, let me move this around a little bit. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna jump over to Teamzy. So I've got two windows open, Teamzy and Facebook. A lot of times when I'm working in Teamzy, I'll have 4 apps open. I'll have Teamzy, Facebook, my messages app, so I can send text messages, and Gmail, right? So those are the 3 main things that I use is Facebook, text, and email. But I would say 95% of it is Facebook message because that seems to be where I get everybody. So before I get into that, so you can see here's my Teamzy dashboard. I've already crushed it today. I've got 100% of my goal done. With you guys, I'll go over a little bit because you'll let me demonstrate a little bit. But first, I want to show you how easy this is to set up. First and foremost, I want everybody in the call to know this. You can get a free 30-day free trial. Yes, I said that right. You just go to teamzy.com, teamzy.com, and sign up for it. You don't have to put a credit card or anything. 30 days, you try it out, get using it. So everybody know that. You can go do that anytime. When you come in here to start, you're gonna come into a setup wizard, which I'm gonna launch just so I can show it to you really quick. The whole point here is that a lot of people can't handle software tools because the setup is too complicated. They made this really easy. So in the setup wizard, you're going to set your income goal, and then Teamzy will tell you what you need to do to achieve that goal. You're going to create a powerful why so that you can stay connected to your why power, because remember, your willpower sucks. You guys have heard that before, right? You need why power. And then we're going to get your contacts in and rank them so that Teamzy will know how to prioritize your people. Okay, so we'll go through this really quick. So step 1, set your income goal. Now, I think primarily this group are 1-star diamonds and diamonds, right? So I would set your goal high. You know, I've set a goal here for 150,000. Great. Okay. Personally sponsored coaches. If you guys are under 5-star diamond or even under 10-star diamond, you don't need to put in that number there because it's going to reduce your goal. So don't do that. Just put in 0 to start. Okay. For personally sponsored coaches. So great. For $150,000, it's telling me that I need to connect 4,348 times. Right? That sounds kind of big. I have the number here on my shed quarter wall, 4,348, so that I keep that in mind for myself. But what it'll do is it then breaks it down daily so that it's a number I can handle. So you can see it's made a recommendation of what I should be doing. 9 prospects each day, 6 customers each day I'm connecting with, and 4 coaches. Okay, so that's the recommendation. Now, it's important to connect with all 3 of those groups because all 3 of those groups you need to maintain and generate new business from. But what I'm going to do is show you that you can modify these numbers too. You can change them. Okay, so I have my own numbers that I like. I do 14 prospects, 4 of these, and I do 2 of these. I don't have a huge team, so I run out of coaches really fast at 4. Okay, so 14, 4, and 2 is my number. I love that number because it's 20, and I can say I'm talking to 20 people every morning. Okay. Sometimes it's night. Okay, so once you've set that up and created your goals, you can customize them if you want. Now we're going to do your why. And so what this is all about is this is connecting to why you're a coach. Because you and I both know there's going to be days when you wonder if you should keep doing this. You know, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to want to quit. This is really important. There is an excellent call. Did I accentuate that enough? From November of 2014 by Vita Lafata. If you guys haven't heard it, go into the Coach Archive and find it. November 2014 called Creating a Powerful Why. Super awesome. Okay. And you may see that this next piece was inspired a little bit by that call. So this is just a journaling exercise that's built in for you. Okay, when you're setting it up, you take a minute and you can do this. You can come back and do it later if you don't want to do it when you set up. But it'll ask you, why did you become a coach? What did you hope to accomplish by that? And it just takes you through each of these little journaling exercises. This is just for you guys, okay? Nobody's looking into this data. But when you get to the bottom, you distill your why based on all of the thinking and the journaling that you've done. And when you get your why in there, you save it and it will be on your dashboard. Okay, so you can see my why is to create a life where I'd never have to worry about money again. I enjoy quality time with my family. I'm present for my children on a daily basis. I'm healthy and full of energy. Because what I had before was a corporate job. I'd been laid off from twice, and they brought me back where I was stressed about money all the time because I never knew if I was going to have my job, and I never saw my kids because I was always working, commuting to work. You know, so that was a big deal for me. All right, so you got to figure out why you want to do this. Okay. The last piece is getting all your contacts in. And then this is the easiest part. I mean, it's probably the hardest part of any CRM program, but these guys have tried to make this really easy. So if you've got contacts somewhere else, if you're using another program, Gmail contacts, oops, I started the video, sorry. You can get those in a CSV file. That's how those programs will export it, and that'll import right into Teamzy, no problem. There's a video here on how to get your friends list from Facebook. It's a little bit more complicated, but if you follow the steps, it usually works really well. This is a big deal because you've got all these people you've met on Facebook, and without putting them in a system like this, you're not managing or deepening those relationships. And then, of course, you're going to get your coach online office imports with your customers and downline coaches. All of those put in, okay? Once you get all those uploaded in, what we're going to do is you're going to rank everyone that you just imported. So it'll take you to a screen like this with the full list of everybody you just imported, right? And you'll be in rank mode. And you're just going to go through and give them a ranking from 5 stars to 1 star. This is an important step. Don't skip it. If you want to take it in smaller chunks, you can go on the left here and you can just do your prospects first, then your customers, then your coaches. But you've got to do this step. Here's why, guys. This is important. If you don't prioritize your relationships, you can never prioritize your time. You might want to write that one down. If you don't prioritize your relationships, you can never prioritize your time. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean by that. So, in my list, I've got 1,408 contacts, okay? That's a pretty average size list. Do you know how much time it would take for me to be in contact with everybody all the time? I have to prioritize my most important people. I want to invest the most time with the people that are most likely to do business with me, refer business to me, or, join my team, right? Those are the people I want to spend the most time with. And why is it that the kind of the jerk in your life tends to take more time than the great people? Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed, maybe at your job or even just as in your Beachbody business, you spend more time with the customer that's a pain in the butt than the ones that are awesome? Because you figure the ones that are awesome, they're set, they're good. That's the wrong thought. You need to spend time with the ones that are awesome because here's why. They are your advocates. They are your advocates. And I'll give you guys a couple dialogues on how you can duplicate your clients like that, okay? So go through and rank them. Okay, so here's what the ranks mean. A lot of people are confused by the definitions in here on the ranks. But here's the important thing for you to know. A 5-star rank is going to show up every month. So every month you're going to get a reminder to stay in contact with this person. So those are the people, those are your best buddies, right? That you're going to talk to every month and they're not going to hate you for it. The 4 stars are going to come up every 2 months. 3 stars are going to come up every 3 months. 2 stars are going to come up every 4 months. Okay. And then the 1-star people, they're not going to show up on your dashboard. So those are the people you don't really want to reach out to. You just want to store them in there. Okay. Maybe they're the do not contact customers you got from Beachbody. Maybe they're just somebody that you're just not really thrilled about right now. Okay. So why do you do this? Because I'm going to show you how this works. But once you give everybody a score, now Teamzy has the algorithm set and they're going to feed you your power hour every day. You never have to plan it ever again. Okay. You don't have to overthink it. You just do it. So let's jump back to the dashboard. So you can see, picture that I had zeros, right? It would tell me I need to make 14 connects for 2, right? So it would look like this one, a 0. Every time you do one, you get a little bit of color around your circle until it fills in and lets you know that you finished. So here's what I do. I get up in the morning. I usually do my power hour at 5:45. I'm done with it at 6:15. So my power hour is really 30 minutes, okay? The reason I do it then is because I work from home here in the shed. I have 3 small kids. Well, I have 2 small kids and a teenager. And if I don't get the power, I never know what's going to happen to my day. It could blow up at any minute, right? So I want to get the most important part of my day, the lead gen, started first. I want to just get it over with. So I come out here and I get it done. So here's what I would do. Annette Davis is at the top of my list. Great. I'm not even, oh, I haven't talked to Annette in years. Oh, I don't know if I want to talk to her. I don't think about those emotions. Okay. I just send the message. So here's what happens. Annette Davis. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to look her up. You can't send messages from Teamzy, just so you guys know. Facebook doesn't allow any app to do that anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But this is still really fast. It doesn't take me any time at all. So there's Annette. So I'm going to send her a message. So Annette is a real estate agent I used to consult with back in my old job. I can't even type. I can't type. Here we go. What time is it in Atlanta? 9:30? Hopefully I don't wake her up. All right. So here's the thing. I always put their name and I always put my name in the message. I know it's kind of strange to do that in Facebook because generally, you read the names and you don't put them in the messages. I do it because if I haven't talked to somebody in a while, I don't want them to think it's some sort of weird spam message. Okay. So I'm going to send that out. Now, here's what you saw. That's a real deep message, right? Really profound. Hi, Annette. How are you? Just popping by to say hello. Hope your day was awesome, Eric. Why didn't I not go deeper? Why didn't I spend 15 minutes reading her Facebook page and writing some amazing posts to her? I haven't talked to her in ages. I just want to start a conversation. I want to just see the conversation. So I'm just kind of sending that out there like, hey, let's just connect. Okay. Now you can see that it works. You can see over here, Kelly's responding to my, how are you message over there that I sent earlier when I actually did my connects earlier. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to toggle back to Teamzy. Check this out. I'm just going to paste it in. Now you don't have to copy and paste. You can just write, I send her a message if you want, but I like to do that because I like to keep it exactly. So that's a Facebook message. And when I complete this one, she's going to disappear off my list. She's gone off my list. She'll come back in, what is she? She's a 3. She'll come back in 3 months. Okay. So if I don't hear back from Annette, I'll check in with her again in 3 months. But here's what I know that happens. She gets the message. She looks at my Facebook page. She starts noticing what I'm doing. And each time the relationship gets closer. Now, when Annette messages me back and we have a conversation and we're getting caught up and she's telling me about her life, I'm telling her about my life, and it gets to a point of an invite, then I'm going to schedule follow-ups with her, which I'll cover at the end here. So next I would go to Kurt, same thing. So I'm just going to go to Kurt really quick. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to Kurt. And here's what I'm going to do, guys. This is how I can do this so fast. I'm just going to use the message I just used, and I'm just going to change the name.
It was just his birthday, so make sure you tell him happy birthday.
I'm sure I sent him a birthday message. Yesterday?
Just saying. Just saying.
Nice catch, Samantha. So a lot of times, just so you guys know, I will send people a birthday message on their birthday, but if they come up on Teamzy the same week as their birthday, I'll postpone them a week because people get so many messages on their birthday, they very rarely can respond to them all. So just a little technique, send them a happy birthday message, delay them a week, and then follow up with a how is life message because most people won't respond to birthday messages with more than thanks because they got hundreds of them. Okay. Okay. So you see that. So look, you guys can just jam through these and the whole point is you're starting conversations. You're starting conversations. I like to do it in the morning so I have all day to have the conversation as they start to respond. And I don't know what messages I have coming in, but I can see that there are messages coming in on Facebook right now as we're doing this. They might be these people responding. Don't go to them. Don't answer them. Be disciplined. Get through all of your Power Hour connects before you start having the conversation, okay? Or you won't make it through. So when I get 14 done on my prospects, now I'm going to go to my customers. I'm going to connect with my customers. The same thing. It's super important, guys, to connect with your customers. This is huge. You have so many customers after you've been doing this a while. And you have to stay in touch with them. If you don't, they quit, right? They give up on their goals. They stop getting Shakeology. But even more important than that, More important than that, you guys, this is a big one. Here's another write down moment. You got to understand that the hottest source of a new lead is a current customer. The hottest source of a new lead is a current customer. There's no better way to get a new customer or a new coach than somebody who's already in it, because here's why. They are excited. They're using it. They're talking about it all day long. They're annoying their coworkers in the kitchen when they say no to the chocolate cake because they're on 21-day fix with you. They're pulling out their little containers. People are like, what are you doing? I'm doing this. They're talking about it all day long. So you guys should be getting, 2 or 3 new people from every challenger, right? No, it's not happening. Okay, so here's why it's not happening. You're not taking advantage of the opportunity to duplicate your current clients. You got to be in touch with them all the way through the process. They got to know that you're there, that you care about them. And after you've demonstrated that care and they know and they trust you, here's what you do. You have to ask them for introductions. You ask them for, I always say, don't ask for a referral, ask for the introduction. Here's how you do it, okay? So Samantha, you've been doing so great in our challenge group. I'm so proud of the progress you're making. And Samantha probably says, it's been wonderful. I love it. It's so great. And so I say, hey, can you think of anybody who you think might benefit from next month's group? Can you think of anybody? And she goes, well, yeah, probably my friend so-and-so. I've got a couple of girlfriends that might do it. Great. Could you do me a favor? Would you introduce them to me via message or text? And then I'll get them all the information on the next group. Could you just do me a favor and introduce me via message or text, and I'll get them all the information for the group? Right? You guys think you could say that? It's very unintrusive. And here's the thing. It is the best way to duplicate your clients. And rather than waiting for her to talk it up and who knows, just ask for the introduction. And here's the magic of that. When she introduces people to you, she transfers her trust in you to them. And they, even if they don't even know what she's doing, they're like, well, this person is somebody she trusts. It's huge, you guys. It is so huge. And that is how you can take the people you're working with and grow them. Okay. And again, this is the best source of leads. So make sure that you guys are duplicating your current clients. It's super important. And then of course you're going to connect with your coaches. You got to stay in contact with your coaches. I know you have team calls every week. I know that you've got a Facebook group where you guys are connecting, but you got to get one-on-one with people. You have to encourage them. You have to, one of the coaches that I did this presentation for last week, she uses this opportunity to spotlight them and recognize them for something. I love that. I love that. So what if you were recognizing a couple of coaches on your team every day? So cool. Okay. The other thing is this, people always ask me this, what about coaches that I know that are in my Facebook that aren't in my downline? Yeah, you should be connecting with them too, right? Isn't it cool that we're all together tonight? You need to be connecting with people that you don't benefit from connecting with. It's like you just got to sow love everywhere you go, right? You hand it out in slices, you get it back in loaves. You learn from other coaches, you encourage each other, you support each other. Okay, so yeah, you should have other coaches in here that you're connecting with, and that does count as a proactive activity because you can't quantify what all that energy you're putting out there that is going to come back. Okay, so now here's the cool thing, guys. You finished your prospects, you finished your customers, you finished your coaches. Now you're going to do now you're going to do follow-ups. Okay, so let me explain how this works. So let's just use an example. Let's say Kurt, my friend Kurt, who I forgot his birthday because I'm a terrible friend. Kurt responds back and we have a great conversation. Okay, so he responds back and we have a great conversation. So I'm going to look him up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the activity feed and I'm going to edit this and put the rest of the conversation in later. Boom. So I have a record of it. Okay. Once I've done that, now we've been talking. So he's going to get some sort of an invite. Okay. So now I'm going to log an invite. Let's say to a challenge group. Okay. So let's say we're doing Facebook message and it's great. 22 hardcore. Let's say I'm giving him an invite to my 22 hardcore group starting in 4 weeks. Great. So now this is an important piece, guys, because I'm not going to wait for him to come back on my dashboard in 3 months. That's just to stay in touch. Now I need a follow-up. Okay. Now I need a follow-up. So I set the follow-up for tomorrow. This is how he can never fall through the cracks. Okay. This is huge. Okay. How much time do I have? I'm doing okay. All right. So I'm just going to tell you guys my little tip on following up. So just so you guys know how I kind of figured this out. In my previous career as a business coach for real estate agents, they would pay $500 a month to get 2 30-minute calls a month, right? It's a lot of money, right? And then they wouldn't show up for their calls. They wouldn't show up for their calls, right? They would hide. Why do your challengers hide from the group when they're not doing their workouts, right? They were ashamed that they weren't doing their homework and they went into hiding. And here they're wasting all this money. So I always felt like, I had a responsibility to find them and give them their coaching, get their money's worth. So I learned right away how to follow up. In the case of these guys, I followed up 9 times a day. Followed up 9 times a day. And 99% of the time they thanked me for it. So let me explain how you do that. When you want to follow up with somebody a lot, right? You don't want to be a nag. So you don't ask them to do anything. Your follow-ups are a favor to them. Okay? So let me explain to you how I do it with this. So Kurt, I'm sending him my information on the group, on the challenge pack, links and everything. And here's what I tell him. Kurt, I sent everything to your email address. I'll check in with you tomorrow and see if you have any questions. Okay? So now I've told him I'm going to follow up. So now I'm going to set this for tomorrow and it's completed. Great. So now he's going to be on my follow-up list for tomorrow. So when I'm on my follow-up list, and here I can go to see all my follow-ups. There he is on my follow-up list for tomorrow. So when I come in here tomorrow and I follow up with him, right? Now I'm going to connect with him again and I'm going to say, hey, Kurt, it's Eric. Just checking in like I promised I would. Do you have any questions for me? Did you get that? Did you see how I did that? Just checking in like I promised I would. Now, what does that do? It means that when I'm following up with you, it's not because I want you to buy the challenge pack because I need my $40 commission, right? It's because I told you, I promised you I would. And so you can start getting used to the fact that I'm going to follow through on my promises. So what the follow-up then becomes a deposit in the trust account every time you do it, right? And I'm sure that you guys use language similar to what I do on the actual invite email. I tell them, as your coach, I'm not going to let you give up easy. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be relentless to help you get to your goal because we're not wired to succeed without that. So I already tell them that I'm going to be relentless. So now I'm following through on the promise. Every time I check in, I say, hey, it's me. I'm checking in. I told you I'd stay in touch. I'm staying in touch. I told you I would follow up and not let you fall through the cracks. I'm making sure that I'm in contact with you. I'm here to serve you when you're ready. Do you have any more questions? And you do it over and over, right? So you can set your follow-up for tomorrow, then 2 days, then 4 days, then a week, then 2 weeks. I typically will, look, for example, here's Chris. And if you look at our history, I'm about to do the 7th follow-up, okay, with Chris. I'm about to do the 7th follow-up with Chris. So, which is normal. The sale is made between the 7th and 9th follow-up generally. So just think about that. If you guys have had leads that you didn't follow up that much, then you may have had a sale there and you just didn't know it. Okay, so the magic is in the follow-up. So that's the cool thing that Teamzy does that I absolutely love is that it lets you proactively, it tells you what to do. You just make your connects, you just throw out those conversations. Then it gives you a way that you can follow up those conversations. You can kind of lead them towards an invite. And then when you get an invite, you have a system where you can seamlessly follow up and never drop them. Okay. So there's a lot of other cool stuff on here. I'm not going to go through all of it. I just wanted to show you that. But one last thing I also want to let you guys know is you can fully do this on your phone, on your smartphone. It's a mobile website. So you just log in through your phone browser and then save that to your home screen. And it's even faster toggling back and forth, I think, on my iPhone than it is on the computer. Okay. So let me stop the share at that point and open it up to you guys. What questions do you have? There's 26 questions in the chat, and I don't know if I can even open that right now, so I'll let you guys ask them.
Well, Eric, that was like beyond what I expected as far as not just like showing us this amazing product that you have created and help to get started for us that I'm so incredibly thankful for and even more excited about it tonight, being able to share it. But like you provided so much value to us and I really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much. I was kind of wondering when I first, excuse me, when I first signed up because when you sign up, you put in your income or whatever that you'd like to have. How was that kind of, what's the math behind that? Or if you put in $150,000, it tells you to follow up with 9 people or whatever it was.
Yeah. This was something that we had developed in real estate, was trying to figure out what we call the base ratios, right? So what are the average results? And again, Beachbody does not guarantee any, that whole thing, but there is something to it. If you listen to, for example, this is where it started, was when you listen to the weekly wake-up call every single week, what does he do? He goes through the super stats of the super stud that's about to talk, right? And if you write all those numbers down, you start to see ratios. You start to see like, oh, well, they sponsored this many coaches this year, and out of them, they have this many diamond coaches. Okay, great. And they had this many challenge pack sales. And you start to see some patterns, right? So that was one of the things we did. We also looked at, we also talked to a lot of coaches to find out, what typically would happen. And then there were some other coaches who had, if you go on YouTube, a lot of coaches have broken down the math, right? So what we did was we took a very conservative number and figured out kind of how it would go. Now, one thing that's really cool to keep in mind, Samantha, is that your ratios will be tracked real time on the My Business page. So let me show you that really quick. So on the business page, hold on, slow internet. Whenever you're inside a Zoom, the internet's a little bit slower. And I am out in the shed. No, I have really good Wi-Fi. Okay, here we go. So on this page, you can see your ratios. So these are your real ratios based on what you're entering, right? So for example, my ratios right now are 13 connects to a sale. So every 13 times I reach out to somebody, I log a sale of some sort. And every 7 sales that I get, I recruit a coach. So if I were to do quick math on that, hold on, I need a calculator because I'm a people person, not a math person. Can you guys tell? So 13 times 7 is 91. So that means that every time I reach out 91 times, I get a new coach on my team, right? So based on those ratios, I can start calculating and projecting my business. Does that make sense? Hey, one other thing I want to show you on this page. This is totally new for these of you guys who've been using Teamzy for a while, this activity history report, which shows you everything you did today, yesterday, whatever day. And you can filter this. Check this out. You can filter it by connects, by invites. You can go down to which invite, right? You can also look at sales, new people that you added, and your dailies, like how you did, what days you didn't do your shake or whatever. So anyways, just wanted to show you that while I was there. Really cool stuff. But so does that answer the question, Samantha?
Yes, and I didn't know about that invites thing. I was going to ask you, like, how do I know how many actual invites I did for the day? Fantastic. I am so excited. I wanted to ask you one more question. Since you recommended the psychology of persuasion, right? That's what it's called. Yeah. What other books could you recommend, or is that the only one really that is like really great for just making these conversations have the most impact possible?
You know what? Good question. I got my whole bookshelf right here, my favorite books. This is a classic. Anyone read Seth Godin? This book, Tribes, is an awesome, look how thin it is. This is a quickie, right? Tribes is a great book about the whole concept of creating community, creating a tribe. And that's what you guys are doing. You're already doing that, right? You're creating your niche. But the point is that you are creating a tribe of people, and you want it. This system's going to help you do that because you need to cement those people. Also, I'm reading another Seth Godin book right now that's blowing my mind, kind of unrelated, but I'm going to tell you guys about it because I'm in love with this book right now. It's called The Icarus Deception. Have you guys heard of this one? This is all about being an artist, breaking free of that industrial economy thinking, like you got to have a 9-to-5 job and all that stuff, and like just doing your art, and your art being defined as that amazing thing that you only can do that provides connection to other human beings. Oh my God, this book is amazing. So anyways, but as far as on relationship marketing, this is a really great book, Tribes. Basically anything by Seth Godin, because that's his whole philosophy. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. Have you guys read that one? Start with Why, Simon Sinek's a great one too. If you don't want to read that book, he has a TED Talk that basically is the whole book, for those of you who would rather watch the video. But this book here, Influence, is really, this is kind of, I keep this book because this is like a textbook. I teach from it all the time, train from it. Basically, he's got six laws of influence, 6 ways that you influence people, social influence. So if you guys get down as leaders on your teams, if you guys could do a 20-minute training on the 6 laws of social influence for your team, they will eat that up with a spoon. It'll help them be better communicators. Oh, one thing I did need to say while we're recording, I forgot to say it in the beginning, I have to do my compliance disclaimer. So just so you guys know, Teamzy is a separate entity from me, and I do not benefit financially from coaches using Teamzy. Okay, just wanted you guys to know that. But I am really passionate about it because my thought is that this can really help coaches. And if we can help coaches, guess what happens? We help tons of people, you know? So what other questions do you guys have?
Hi, I have a few questions. First, I really appreciate you taking the time because you're really proficient and I know how cramped we all are for time. So I really appreciate how much time you're taking just to touch on something totally outside of anything that benefits you in any realm. But this came at like a huge time for me because I'm literally about to hire an assistant to create a database. I just set up all the queries and I saw this and I was like, this is like exactly what I need. But I have a few questions that I needed prior to learning about Teamzy. Is there, do you know in the terms and agreements, anything protecting like the privacy of your customers' information that you input?
Yes, I don't know the specifics of it, but there is a privacy statement that's actually separate from the terms and conditions. If you go to teamzy.com and look in the footer, there's a link to it. But I do know that they definitely keep private all of those people's information for sure. You mean that they can't sell their information?
Yeah.
They can't show it to another customer. Like nobody can see it. From what I understand, Teamzy reserves the right to see your data because they need it. They need access to help you with customer service issues, and that's it.
Okay. Since I'm completely unfamiliar with this website, and I don't know that I'll need this after the fact, but if I had an assistant logging into Teamzy, would they have, by nature of the share, access to my Facebook and my email as well, or just what I put into the website?
Yeah, they wouldn't have access to those things, just the website.
Okay. And can you add custom queries to the database that like add in like the custom things you want to create? Like, does it function as a database in addition to a relationship system?
It is a full CRM system, right? Now, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, but what you can do is you can create custom groups and things like that, where you can categorize people in different ways. I'm not sure what you mean by queries. I think you might be more sophisticated than me when it comes to technical stuff.
No,
But
I just mean like if you're creating a database and you knew there was this multitude of like categories that you wanted to track, can you enter those custom categories into Teamzy so that you can track those specific things about your customers as well?
right now, what you can do is you can create groups. You can also, there's also notes where you can put on people. People have been coming up with really creative workarounds. But here's what I want you guys to know about this. Teamzy is built. It's not built by some big software company that's out there that will give you an update once every 2 years. This is built ground up for coaches. It's not, the system doesn't exist in another industry that's been kind of whitewashed for Beachbody. It's built in the ground up for coaches. The development team is working on this every single week. So basically, those of you guys, if there's anyone on the call that's been on Teamzy the whole 2 months it's been out, has seen that it's dramatically different 2 months now than it was 2 months ago. And that's because the changes are being led by coaches.
Let me give you, this is it after this, but let me give you an example of what I'd like to track. I'd like to track who's interested in certain programs so that when those programs come up for promotion, I can sort by the program and say, this person was interested here. I'll contact that person.
Yeah. One of the things that was recommended by coaches was that we have a tag system, so you could search by tags. So that's on the list of consideration for development for sure. That's not there right now. Somebody the other day told me that they went through. This was kind of awesome. They went through and created a group for every of the challenge group of the what am I trying to say, of the fitness programs and Shakeology and 3-Day Refresh. And then they put everybody in those groups that had purchased those things. And then they had this really cool system of going through and going, well, if they're in this group, then I'm gonna send them an information on body base. If they're in this group, so I mean, you can get creative with it. It's really flexible. But if you guys find that there's something you just feel like, man, like it would be this is something that I really need, then just there's an online community built into it where you just go recommend and put stuff up.
Can
Like
I
that
say,
report I showed you guys wasn't there a week ago.
I've been using because I've been using it for about 3 weeks now, and I'm like totally in love. And I've been using the groups. I'll even group it to like, I sent them a video. I sent them like whatever the video is, video sent, links sent. And that way, you know, sometimes things could just get crazy when you're like messaging a million people. So I'll just go into that group and I'll be able to follow up with all of those people that I sent a video to. And if you did that with a program, you could do the same thing.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for tonight.
Sure. Hey, one more thing, guys, before I see people are leaving the call. So I want to touch one more thing before, and then I'll stay on for more questions. But I want to thank you guys for coming tonight. And the cool thing is that we're going to give you a discount for being here tonight. So Teamzy is typically priced at $29.99 a month. That price is based on the fact that it's less than the commission on one Shakeology home direct order, right? And so the guys figure if you get it for free for 30 days, they can help you make at least one sale, and that one sale will pay for your Teamzy forever. But since Samantha put this training together, we're going to let you use her email address as a coupon code, and you guys can get the rate of $24.99. And that's like an ongoing rate, so you can get that. That saves you a lot of money over time. You can also share her email address with your teams, and they can use it too, even if they're not on the call tonight. Okay, so I want you guys to write down her email address. It's right there on the screen, and so here's what happens when you start a 30-day free trial. You don't have to put that in or anything. You just put in the free trial and you go to town. When you have about 10 days left in your trial, you get this link that pops on your dashboard that says, hey, you need to get a subscription started. Your trial is going to end. Click on that and you'll see a little box that says, hey, did somebody refer you to Teamzy? Put her email address in and hit enter, and it'll change the prices. Okay. And the price goes even lower if you guys decide you want to do like a year in advance. You can save even more. So I just want to let you guys all know that. Share that discount code with your teams. I mean, everyone should get the best deal on it that they can. And then I'll come back, see if you guys have more questions.
I had a quick question. As far as adding new people, so like if I were to do a big mass import right now and it's got all my Facebook contacts and everybody, and how do you get the new Facebook contacts in there? Is that something you do daily as you're adding people, or is there an easy way to do it?
I just do it daily. For me, it's really fast and easy to add people, especially Facebook, because you're only putting in a name. It takes a second to type it in. There's a new contact button at the top of the screen. The same thing when I get, the free leads from Beachbody, I just copy and paste them in onesie twosie as they come through. Now, with the Beachbody exports, you can do a date range. I just find an import to be more complicated for me. Now, Sue, my success partner, what she does, because she does a lot of Instagram, she does 25 Instagram messages a day, and she has this huge, some of you guys are monsters with that stuff, and you're amazing. She just keeps a Google sheet of the people that she wants to put into Teamzy at the end of the week, because she has all these people and she doesn't put them all in, right? Some of them never respond to her. So at the end of the week, she imports that sheet. So that's how she does it. So there's ways you can do mass imports if you guys are doing, if you're adding tons of people a week, which is great, because here's the thing is, if you think about this whole relationship marketing thing, you need fresh water coming into it all the time. You need new people coming in all the time. And some of it's going to flow out. Some people are going to get deleted or pushed out of your database over time, but you need fresh water constantly. And you think of it like, well, I know probably a lot of you guys have kids, right? When you're getting your bath water ready for your kids, you want just the right temperature, right? Sometimes you got to warm it up. So it's like that. You picture this your database, the database is your list of relationships, and you want to keep it warm. You're trying to keep that temperature warm all the time, but you've got cold water flowing in, right? You've got cold water flowing in, and you need that fresh water flowing in. And so you got to constantly be working in it to keep it warm, because you got cold water flowing in. Does that make sense? All right. beat that analogy to death. What are the questions? So I think most of you guys will have more questions when you get into the free trial and start playing with it. Okay. Here's what I want you to know. The guys are really responsive. If you have questions, there's like a help button that floats around down there. You just click it and send them a question and they'll get back to you pretty quick. This thing was made for us. It's made to be easy to use. So if you feel like you're banging your head against the wall, don't do it for long. Just reach out for help. There's also a community of people in there that are connecting and sharing things. There's lists of things that people want to see built. So put those in there too. And that's the beauty of this. And the goal is that, you know, Beachbody is like at the very beginning of its, you know, this network's brand new, really. You know, we're all at the ground floor right now. People are doing things that are freaking amazing. I did a training with a team the other day. They're like 15 months old, top 30 team. Like, you know, that's amazing. 15 months. So it gets easier for each of us. Like as time goes on, it's way easier for us than it was for the top 10 coaches that are top 10 right now. They didn't have it as easy as we have it right now. You know, and your guys are recruiting people that are going to come into your teams next week. And they're going to have it easier than you. And it's going to be awesome. So I encourage you guys to take hold of this thing, man. Bring it out for 30 days. See what happens. Right? Okay. Did I answer all the questions that are on here? Okay. I'm going to save the chat. All right. So thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. If any of you guys have teams of, you know, if you want to organize one of these trainings for your team, we just ask that you bring 20 people to the training and we can create a discount for your team too. So keep that in mind. Okay. So if you guys want to do an additional training or if you want to go deeper on a different topic, we'll schedule them out. Just message through the help button on the Teamzy page to Teamzy and they'll arrange it and they'll schedule it for me. So I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.